This is A&T, aka Ant-Man, back with you sooner than later with another episode, so-called episode, of the Intelligent N-Word Show, where we talk about anything that piques my interest with a little dab of intelligence. I was initially going to do an episode next week, but I just feel like we got to keep this type of consistency going. Shout out to Chisel the Adonis with this phrase: "Commit to the commitment of consistency." And just I want to keep the shit going. I realized, I was saying next week because, topics, the fact that I have to research things of that nature, put up social media, things like that. But let's just keep this going. You know what I'm saying? If there's some things that's on my mind I want to talk about, we're gonna talk about it. When it gets more legit, we'll see how more frequent it can be. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I feel like it's the stuff we can talk about today. And one of them right now, we're gonna start with wrestling. You thought I was going to talk about these boys. We're going to get to them first. We're going to get to them later. But let's start with Tuesday Night War. And really, I just saw somebody like, who the fuck said something about a Tuesday Night War? Like, just don't call it the genre. Real talk, compared to what's going on in Israel and Palestine, that ain't no war. But you get what I'm talking about. Last night, AEW Dynamite decided to show on Tuesday, while NXT did a did a special show on their regularly scheduled day. And from the looks of things, it looked like AEW lost. And I'm not saying this out of the tribalism of it, but you got moments that happened on NXT last night that were definitely good to see. You had Oscar versus Roxanne Perez. You had Paul Heyman with Braun Breaker versus John Cena with Carmelo Hayes. You get what I'm saying, but I said it in reverse. But you get it, man. You had WWE superstars from the main roster show up to NXT, which of course is going to draw some ratings, but more specifically, you had Oscar, John Cena, Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, and the legendary fucking Undertaker show up for a developmental brand. And from the looks of it, whether it may have been ratings or whatever, or audience appearance, it looks like the WWE took that one last night. And because the hottest thing that I've heard about from AEW's Dynamite was the controversial promo that Juice Robinson said about MJF, the AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Homeboy is a Jew, and my man pulled out a roll of quarters on his ass. Anti-Semitic type shit. If I get banned just because I said that, forgive me. I don't give a damn. But basically that was what it was, and a lot of people was giving Juice Robinson flack for that, especially what is going on across overseas. So you compare that controversy bringing up with AEW, you compare that controversy along with the moments that NXT had, safe to say that NXT won. But you still going to have your, you still like this is where I come in with the tribalism. You're still going to have your people that say that AEW is better or WWE is better. You're going to have your people like that. Me personally, I got favorites, but I'm not going to always be like, I'm not going to be no dick rider. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'm not going to be is just like WWE's the best, AEW's trash. I'm not going to be that, but I will say what it is. I always felt that AEW is like, it's you're going to have your alternatives. It's about time that you got an alternative outside of the WWE to watch big time wrestling. And, the fact that they got Adam Copeland on the main roster right now on AEW doing a program with Christian Cage and his associates, it's bringing more eyes to the company. You got, you got to, but to be real about it, it's all combating what WWE is trying to do. AEW ain't trying to do this to be number two. Why you think they? Why you think all of this money is being put into getting these guys over here, or have like a second league organization is always going to collaborate with other smaller organizations. You're going to have AEW collaborate with Impact or Ring of Honor or New Japan because they need as much talent they can get that they know is going to shine when it comes to in-ring competition. Where WWE sports entertainment is the main thing. It's the big thing. But right now it's starting to be a new development and change because Triple H is being more creative with with the roster, with the shows, and you're starting to see that much more as the weeks and months go on. It's been over a year right now since Triple H has been the head of creative. As far as where Vince McMahon's placement is in the company, is he still chairman? Maybe it's like, is he still is he still a stockholder? Probably. You know what I'm saying? This whole Endeavor TKO shit with UFC and WWE, it's like, it kind of scrambled up some things, but apparently it seems like it's for the better. But, you're going to always have your AEW cynics, you're going to have your WWE cynics, you're going to have your AEW fanboys, you're going to have your WWE fanboys. I've always just been about having good product. Always been about having good product. If the shit shows that you're doing good, then you're doing good. If it ain't, then it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter how many big superstars you got, no matter what league it is, no matter what corporation or wrestling company it is. You can have all the big toys and big matches and big spots that you want, but unless it's not engaging an audience, you ain't doing much. You know, and I kind of feel like AEW is like desperately trying to engage its audience with how it's being presented. You know what I'm saying? The Bullet Club Gold, I kind of feel a way about that because even though Jay White is a Bullet Club member, like it's some things that they try to invigorate too much. They push too hard. We're trying to push a narrative that we're for the people. You know what I'm saying? For WWE, they're doing certain things that's going to be like, it looks like it's a Vince move, but you don't know. But I'm like, if I see a good match on either show, I'm going to like it. Daniel Bryan versus Will Ospreay, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? If that's a great ass match, I'll watch it. I don't care what it's on, man. So it's just all about the productivity and the quality of what's being done on either programs. It's bringing like, either way, wrestling is overall winning because you're going to have two companies that these indies that break out of CZW or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that's going to break out of these other smaller leagues. They got an opportunity. It's okay, if I can't go to the WWE PC, let's see what Tony Khan can do. You know what I'm saying? So you got opportunities, and that's the bottom line. The bigger this company, the bigger that wrestling gets, the more opportunities that other people are going to have. So that's the one thing I'm cool with. I'll tell you one thing. Talking about indies uh, and recruits. Shoot, we got like I'm thinking about Nia Jax and like who could combat her, and I think there's one person that could combat her. Faye Jackson. Look her up. Look her up. But that's all I got for that. Just gonna talk about the Tuesday night shows that happen in wrestling and what I feel about it. Now the next subject is let's talk about them. We talked last episode. I started off with the Lions. I told you I had a hoodie right here. This is it. Come on, Detroit. I just want one. I want just one before I die. Just. It ain't got to be this year. It ain't got to be this year. But within the next 5 years, man, I'm about to be 40 in 5 years. If I could get a Super Bowl by 40, I'll be a happy man, dog. Like, let this still be black when they get a Lombardi trophy. You feel me? I got a couple gray hairs. I ain't telling you where, but I want to see these boys win by 5 years. But this is the subject I want to talk about when it comes to the Lions, and that is, are the Lions really legit? You know, this is only week 5 into the NFL season, and what I was trying to get into Monday on the last episode when it comes to the Lions and our schedule, we got, we got our 2 divisional matchups. Of course, you got to face the Packers, the Vikings, and the Bears twice a year. And so far, we've just beaten, like, we've only faced the Packers. We only faced the Packers. We haven't gotten to the Bears yet. We haven't gotten to the Vikings. We get the Vikings, like, in the last 2 games, week 16 and 18, we got them in between playing the Cowboys. The Bears, we got them a little bit later on, too, like around in November. And the Packers' second game is on Thanksgiving. So I think I'm going to go to that. But aside from the divisional games, you've got, we're second place. That's the one thing I forgot to mention. That's the reason why we're facing the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and the Ravens this year, because they were second place in their divisions. Cowboys being in the NFC East. I ain't gonna say the NFC least because the Eagles, they the best. But the Cowboys, they were second place in the NFC East. The Ravens, they were second in the AFC North, and the Seahawks, they were second in the NFC West. So that's why we're facing those 3 teams. But those 3 are divisional games, and then we face 2 other divisions, one interconference and intra-conference, AFC and NFC. So we got the AFC West. Like I said, we only played 1 team for the AFC West. And we're about to play another team from the NFC South this Sunday against the Buccaneers. So you look at these games that we got and you see how good we're doing, and you think to yourself, are the Lions really legit? Because we gotta. I said it before. When I saw the schedule that we had this year, and that was back when the Super Bowl happened, when the Chiefs was facing the Eagles, like right before or right after that, they dropped the schedules of the upcoming teams. Before or who we was going to face, like no dates yet, but they had the teams ready. And when I saw those teams, I was like, 13-4, because looking at these teams, they're not so hard to go against. They're not the hardest teams to go against. You know what I'm saying? The most difficult team I saw us going against was the Seahawks, the Chiefs, probably the Chargers, and maybe the Cowboys. But like these couple of these few teams, they aren't really that hot, man. The NFC South, the NFC South, Panthers, Bucks, Saints, Falcons. You saw how we just ran through the Falcons and the Panthers. The Buccaneers, they don't look too hot. And the Saints, Cam calls them the Aints. You know what I'm saying? Because look at who they got. And somebody trying to call me. Nonetheless, it's a damn fucked up number that I should block that bitch. But anyway, you got Baker Mayfield out there with little weapons. You got Mike Evans, but who else you got on that team? You got Derek Carr on the Saints, but offensive protection ain't that hot, and it's like the NFC South is not looking that great, in my opinion, or overall. Not just my opinion. The NFC South is just not that hot. And then the AFC West, the best team that you can really pick out of that team is the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. The Raiders with Jimmy Garoppolo, didn't they just win? They beat the Packers by the skin of their teeth. The Broncos. And then the Chargers, like I said, I don't trust Brandon Staley. Nobody trusts Brandon Staley except the Chargers for some reason, because they still have his ass as the coach. And he's been blowing it every single chance at the playoffs. So I don't see them being too much of a problem. The biggest problem we had, we beat them at home in the game, in a home opener, raising up their championship banner. So that was our biggest problem. I said that off the beginning. I was like, oh man, we got to face the Chiefs. I hope it's not at home. And then when they dropped the dates, I was like, damn, at home? And it's the first game of the season. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be tough, But we went through it. Yeah, no Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones, but we took advantage of Patrick Mahomes and a non-catching Kadarius Toney. You feel me? So we did what we had to do. We bit them kneecaps off and went on to the next one. So you think about that, and you think about the Lions season, and you like, of course they're going to be good in the NFC because the teams that they're going against aren't that tough. They're not the best teams you don't see the majority of those teams that we're going against. They look like they don't even have a run or a chance to have a run in the playoffs. The Chiefs, of course, they're going to be in the playoffs. If they're going to be in the AFC Championship at the most, you know that. At the least, I'll say that. My bad. At the least, you're going to see the AFC Championship be like the Chiefs going to be in the AFC Championship at the least, and they'll make it to the Super Bowl. But the other teams that we got, the Chargers, they're gonna get knocked off to whoever they play in the wild card or the divisionals. The Raiders, the Broncos, they done. Like I said, the NFC South is soft, and then you got our division. we the ones. We the ones. The Packers, Bears, and Vikings, they ain't doing nothing. Cowboys, Ravens, and Seahawks. Now the Ravens, we don't know. The Ravens, they've been, man, real shaky this year. Real shaky. They lost that game on some real. Whew, that was an ugly game. Ravens versus Steelers, divisional or rivalry or not, man. That was just an ugly ass game, man. The Ravens offense, dude. And I can't get mad at Lamar Jackson. I'm not even mad at Lamar Jackson about this. These guys ain't catching the ball, man. These dudes are not catching the ball. If they can get their hands together, then maybe we might have a game versus the Ravens. But Nelson, occasional hands, Aguilar, Mark ain't catching shit. Mark Andrews, Odell Beckham just got back on the team and he was looking rusty, but so was J-Mo. But, it don't even matter, though. They looking at, we looking at these teams like, we can run through these dudes, but what's going to happen when we get to the playoffs? I was watching, if you saw my Instagram, or not you saw my Instagram story and my Twitter, I posted up Stephen A. Smith putting the Lions in at number 4 on his Stevens A list for the top 5 NFL teams for this week because, it's fluid. But he was Jeff Saturday, he put him on number 4, but Jeff Saturday, I think he said he would flip it because of whatever case. But he was basically talking about, they good now, but what'll happen in the playoffs because when they face some real teams. And I'm thinking about it nigga, the last time we played the Eagles was last year in our season opener, home opener. And ironically, they won with the same score that they got beat with. 35-38. Eagles beat the Lions, but 35-38, Chiefs beat the Eagles. I put that up on my Twitter ain't that some karma for your bitch asses? I said that. So it ain't we ain't dude, we can get through these cats, man. We can the Eagles, we ain't got to worry about the Eagles. We ain't got to worry about the Niners. We ain't got to worry about the Cowboys. They got to worry about us. They got to worry about us. This is a new look. This is a new look. We ain't coming, like I said, no, this ain't the same team that was getting penalty after penalty because some dumbass offensive lineman couldn't control himself before the snap, or because some dumbass pass interference or shit like that. This ain't the same old Lions team, man. We're much more disciplined, much more aggressive. Our running game has been impeccable. Our running game has been impeccable. Our wide receivers have been amazing. Our defense has been consistent. And sometimes on fourth down, we actually do some nice shit. So it's like, they ain't got to worry. We ain't got to worry about these teams. They got to worry about us because we're actually showing that we're doing what we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Niners and Eagles, really the only team I'm worried about is the Niners. Really. Deebo Samuels, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, or as Chiller the Dynasty calls him, Run CMC. That's a tough-ass squad. Tough-ass squad. Nick Bosa on defense. Brock Purdy has been doing amazing since he came in behind Trey Lance, or you know what I'm saying? He's like, or whoever was the first quarterback for the Niners last year. I think it was Jimmy G. But Mr. Relevant has been doing his fucking job. But still, Mr. Relevant has only been here 2 years. Jared Goff has went to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? They got to remember that. Brock Purdy just came off of being a rookie. Jared Goff been doing this. Like, he's just now getting into that level. It's like, I don't care what people think about me. And maybe Brock Purdy already kind of had this mentality. But like I said, we ain't got to worry about them. They got to worry about us. They think that when they put the pressure on us, we gonna fold like cheap tents, like Stephen A would say. But this ain't that, man. This ain't that. This ain't that, and that ain't this. You know what I'm saying? This is a different, new look. And it's an amazing look. And I'm waiting to see when we get to the playoffs, and I do mean when we get to the playoffs, I'm waiting to see who we gonna go against in the wild card, if we have to go to the wild card. If we do get to 13-4, I think we may end up being a third in the NFC. If the 49ers or Eagles keep doing what they do and remain undefeated until like maybe week 17, like week 14 or something, then one of them teams going to end up getting the bye in the first round. But I can't say it ain't going to be us. I would love it for it to be us because we only got one loss so far. But we'll see how the rest of this season progresses. Like I said, it's only week 5. So people want to question our legitimacy like Jeff Saturday or any of these other reporters. Cam and Mace, y'all got to start talking about the Lions, man. I mean, I know that y'all don't focus on losing teams or definitely the NFC, but come on now. Come on, my nigga. But nonetheless, man, the media, you know, they get, like, some of these dudes are giving us our props. Dan Orlovsky, he gave us our props. Ryan Clark, he's giving us our props. Stephen A, like I said, put us in number 4 on his top NFL teams this week. So you got people that's showing us love. But in order for us to keep proving that, in order for us to keep getting that, we got to keep we got to keep our foot on their necks. We got to keep these boys aware that we ain't going nowhere, man. We are here. We are here, forward down a team, a charging team that will not yield. We are here, man. So the Lions, are they legit? We're going to keep seeing as the season progresses on. If they lose to the Buccaneers, it's not going to be a folding moment. But I'll be mad if we lose to the Buccaneers. But if you win, it's what we're supposed to do. So I do believe the Lions are legit. Yes, it's only week 5, but I believe in the Lions, man. I believe in Jared Goff. I believe in David Montgomery. I believe in Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Get well real soon. I believe in Craig and Josh Reynolds. I believe in Sam Laporta Potty. Shout out to Chisholm Dallas for that name. I believe in in Jerry Jacobs and Brian Branch. I believe in Motor City Dan Campbell, man. I believe in these dudes, man. Now, the rest of like I said, some of my uncles, they may not believe in them because they know the history. But it's time to stop thinking about that because they ain't thinking about that. So I believe in my Lions. I believe we're legit, but I do believe that we got to keep doing what we got to do. We got to do it. We got to keep on putting our foot on the NFL's neck. We should only have one loss every 5 games. You know what I'm saying? Every 3-4 games, it should be like one loss. Because I want it to be 13-4. I want us to go 13-4. If I'd have put money on it, I'd be like 1,000 on 13-4. You know what I'm saying? I believe in that because we are doing our job. We've won the last, even when we when we got X'd out the playoffs last year, we was on a winning streak. We lost like what? Like we was 1-6 or like you was 1-6 or 1-7. And then after that, we was like, fuck this, man. We winning every game after this. But that was the Seahawks knocked us off the playoffs by them beating the Rams. And, no matter if we beat the Packers or not, we weren't going. But we proved like that that 1 year ain't gonna stop. We 4-1. You feel me? So I believe in the Lions, man. I believe in my Lions. And we're gonna keep on doing what we gonna do. All right. All right. Next subject. I'm gonna talk about battle rap versus like battle rap, we're gonna get into that. And we're gonna talk about the apps versus YouTube. And this has been a discussion that is like been going on for years since URL and made this app exclusive. The last time Smack put out a couple battles was just but that was within years, But like he put out some battles right before Summer Madness, and put out a few exclusives. What Shotgun Suge versus Kid Slade, Surf versus Cortez, like what was it, Twerk versus I can't remember all of them, but he put up some battles for the fans to watch. But regular fans like myself and some of these battle rappers, they don't subscribe to the app. They're not, I'll tell you like this. After a battle with Cal, I go straight to Reddit. I go straight to Reddit. And I ain't gonna explain the rest. But these guys, I understand it though. I understand it completely. And I don't know how to feel about it, you know what I'm saying? I think about Jay-Z and that freestyle that he did on Tidal B-Sides concert. YouTube only pays you 1/10 of what you're supposed to get. So Smack noticed that. It was like, nigga, how am I, I'm selling out these venues or whatever. I'm getting 1 million views, 2 million views, 3 million views in these certain battles, these big marquee battles. And I'm just getting 100, like, I don't know I'm not counting pockets, but you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. 1/10, 10% of what you really was supposed to get, that's unfair. So that's why he made the damn app. You know what I'm saying? Now the battle rappers are like, nigga, ain't nobody trying to really log on to these apps and fan vote or whatnot. Like, dude, being on YouTube gets me more exposure. It gets eyes on me. People ain't gotta pay $10 a month just to see me with new material. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough thing to deal with. But these battle rap these battle rap leagues, they want to make their money. They want to make their money, and basically doing it through that type of subscription, it helps. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Like I said, I'm indifferent. I've been on both sides of the fence. It's been times where I did subscribe to URL app, and I was on there for like a couple months. But at a certain time, man, it gets boring. You get on that, you don't want to if you're gonna have an app that has certain content like that, you have to be engaging. You have to be engaging, because if you're not, people ain't gonna stay on that app for too long. You know what I'm saying? And that's a difficult thing to do with battle rap, because events are ran only at certain gaps at a time. You know what I'm saying? URL, along with a whole bunch of other leagues, but URL about to have 2 events this weekend, and this has been their first event since Summer Madness last month. Now, granted, they've been doing more events between every other year or so like that. But just think about it like this: you try to drop battles that can entertain the audience with certain battlers, and sometimes it'd be a hit or miss. But when it's a miss, it kind of hurts you because it's like, dang, um, what if this next battle comes up that this battle is involved in and people don't watch that? So yeah, it's a conflict. It's definitely a conflict within relevancy. Uh, it's tough. It's tough. That's why it's like, shout out to Tay Rock, DNA, or Easy the Block Captain, and what Lex Luthor from iBattle. These guys are making their own leagues to get new talent and try to put them on the app. Try to get them up. You know what I'm saying? Real Sick. He came from iBattle. And you see where he's at. He's had one of the better resumes out of a lot of people. He's battled a lot of big names. One of them being the late great Pat Stay. But he doesn't limit himself to just the app. He goes to iBattle. He's been on King of the Dot. I got to see his battle with A Ward in full. I saw some of it. I got to see all of it because that was a crazy battle. And then you got and then speaking of that, you got guys that are just, non-URL. You know what I'm saying? Like A Ward. He's been on damn near every league except for the world's most respected. Maybe because of contracts, viewpoints, whatever the case is. All of his other four horsemen, Oops, Saga, even Street Hymns, and dang it, Loso. They all have been on URL, but he has not. And it's because I don't delve into why. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't go into the gossip part. When I do this show, I don't do this for gossip. I do this to assess my opinion. Now, if you want to mix that with gossip, people want to interpret that as gossip, that's on you. But I'm just giving you my viewpoint, and I try to assess it intelligently with certain things that you may or may not think about. So, I don't know why A Ward is ultimately not on URL, but he's doing his own way. But because of that, he's one of the more seen battle rappers on YouTube. You're gonna see him on Chrome 23 versus A Verb. You're gonna see him on RBE versus not A Verb. I said Vixen, because that's me through the shot at A Verb. But you're gonna see him on Chrome 23 versus Vixen. You're gonna see him on RBE versus A Verb. You're gonna see him on GTX versus Frack, because he's keeping himself fresh. He's keeping himself abound all the places that you can get your eyes on him. And then it's not just non-URL battle rappers. You got guys like Geechee Gotti, who is I wouldn't say a URL faithful, but he is a URL favorite. And even Rum Nitty. Both these dudes, they are URL favorites. Rum Nitty, ain't he the biggest rated guy on the app? I don't know, because I don't be on the app. But just because he's famous on URL and big on URL, that don't mean he's limited to going to King of the Dot or going to any other league that's willing to give him money for him to be on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So some of these things, I think it's mainly the URL exclusive guys that don't, that feel a certain way about not being on YouTube. But once again, sign your contract. Know what you're getting into before you get into it. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys, they really stay true to the soil and not, look through their shit. And whose fault is that? But the YouTube versus app thing is always going to keep going. But some of these battle rappers are getting their way around that. Now, some people stick with URL because, who knows, it's the most exposure or the maybe more pay. I don't know. But, you got to be smart and know where else you can get your way in. And some of these guys know how to do it, some of them don't. And that's why some of you be complaining about YouTube views. You know what I'm saying? No matter of fact, fuck that. This segment is being brought to you by Chew. One half of Blue Chew. Get you some. I don't need it. But that's not on that with that subject, man. I thought about that and, seeing some of these battles, like what? My man EK, he about to have a battle set up between Twerk and Jazz the Rapper. Once again, two big URL names. Definitely Twerk. But these guys don't limit themselves to that. Some of these guys, they don't do other leagues because maybe it's too soft. I don't know. But they not limiting themselves to URL just because. Just because. But just, work your way around these apps. Work your way around these apps so you'll know how to get yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? That's my main assessment on that. And the last subject we're gonna get on, is the BET Hip Hop Awards. And I didn't watch them, but I do have winners and nominees on these like right now, and I'm gonna go through them right now. I see that the Hip Hop Icon Award went to Mr. Marley Marl. If you don't know who that is, look him up, man. I don't know who's going to go first, who's going to go last. He's been a major contributor to the early '80s hip hop productions with the what's the name? The Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie. You know what I'm saying? He's been responsible for a lot of production, a lot of musical production from New York back in the day, and I definitely believe that's a good look for him, man. So it's long overdue. 50 years of hip hop. He's been around for at least 40 of them. He was like definitely one of the better producers, man. Best lyricist. I'm looking up. I see you had J. Cole, Conway the Machine, 2121, Cardi B, Burna Boy, Three Stacks, and Drizzy as nominees. But Kendrick Lamar was the winner. Now, how is that the case? And that's you got the top three on the list. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake on there. Drake is coming out with these albums. Cole has been showing his ass off, but Kendrick, he ain't released this album. He released this album last year. He ain't put out a single from that album within a few months. How is he the winner of the best lyricist of the BET Awards? Maybe because he's a better lyricist. I don't know. But the impact track goes to All My Life and J. Cole. And All My Life from J. Cole and Lil Durk. You had and I'm looking at the nominees. And what God Did, Anxiety, NLE Chopper Champions, Simba Can't Win for Nothing, 30 by Nas, Scientist by Killer Mike featuring Three Stacks and Future, the Dungeon Family reunion track. And you got Mac Miller and Robert Glasper. Yeah, that makes sense. All My Life is being played throughout the radio like an MFA. And if anybody like you just seen it with with Lil Yachty and The Secret Recipe. Cole said it. I'm on your song. Your streams are going up. Not quite the Drake effect. And Dirk, he was doing his thing. It ain't the first time he tried to rap. He rap positive, but you rap with J. Cole, you better step your lyricism up and you better step your mind game up. So that makes sense that won the song. Producer of the year, I guess it's only right that it did go to Metro Boomin. He did have a successful album out recently with Heroes and Villains, with a lot of people on there. Basically, he's trying to be the new DJ Khaled. I don't even want to say that because I don't consider DJ Khaled a producer. But he had some killers. You got Dr. Dre, London on the Track, Christian J. Ward, ATL Jacob, Hit Boy, who's been making killer after killer after killer with Nas. He just came out with Magic 3, K Tronada, and The Alchemist. Yeah, Metro Boomin, he is the dude this year. If Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Hip hop platform. Got Drink Champs, All Hip Hop, Rap Caviar, Double XL, Joey B, $1 Million Worth of Game, Wallow and Gilly, Hip Hop DX, DJ Envy and Charlemagne, and Carisha Please. I've never even heard of Carisha Please, and how it won is beyond me. I don't know who was voting for that, but That's whatever. Best hip hop video. I didn't even know it was like, but I don't watch these videos. I'm telling you, I don't. Yeah, I may be an old head because today's hip hop ain't really hitting to me like that, but I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna stop being a hip hop head. Just give me an artist that I can keep myself engaged with. You know what I'm saying? The last hip hop artist that I was ready to hear an album from was Solo. And people ain't trying to fuck with Solo like that. Or Herbert. You know what I'm saying? So he the only one out of Top Dog that still ain't got a deal. J Rock got a deal. Schoolboy Q got a deal. Um, Kendrick, he got a deal. But Solo, he's still the top dog underdog, which is some bullshit. But, you know. Anywho, Just Wanna Rock won over Spin About You, and I saw the video to that. That was a ridiculous ass video, man. I told you if anybody get their ass beat up over a bitch, it's gonna be Drake, right? All them women came. He saw a little bitch damsel in distress, saved her, and then come to find out she had a whole bunch of bitches ready to tear up that boat, blow it up. Wait, what happened? Like, what happened? They popped, like they had him and 21 on a plank. One of the bitches popped Drake and Savage just ran off. And they're still like, oh, fuck that. So, like, that's a crazy ass video. Players by Coi Leray. Tomorrow 2 by Cardi B and Glow. Burna Boy Sitting on Top of the World. Shake Something by The Baby. I'm glad he was nominated for something because you can't cancel The Baby. That's like really that's my favorite artist of today's hip hop is The Baby because I believe that he really is rapping. That nigga really raps. You know what I'm saying? You see him on his freestyles, his breath control is amazing. I think Homeboy is about 30 years old. But so he's still like I don't know, but I'm not going like I don't know how old these other rappers are, but they're just into it for for the bitches and the glory and getting the crowd to cheer for him and shit. That nigga Baby, man. That nigga Baby can rap. Not saying that all these other niggas can't rap. But what other niggas out here doing freestyles, rapping as fast as he can, don't lose his breath, take a smoke, and go right back to it. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, he on the comeback. He on the comeback because he said what he said at Rolling Loud. I agreed with him, and he gets canceled. Laid low for a good minute, came back. People are starting to get back to fuck with him again. Because he been having some singles. I saw that one joint he did with Anthony Hamilton that was fire as hell. You know what I'm saying? Call the Fireman, though, a 3-track EP. All 3 of those tracks is fire as hell. Shake Something was fire, good for the, like, you know, good hype song. But then Selling Crack and what was the other one? Project Bitch. Love him. Love him. So yeah, I like The Baby. He's my favorite artist as of right now. Like as far as mainstream or whatever, like the current situation, my favorite rapper right now is gonna be Ab-Soul personally. But The Baby is one of my favorites, man. When he came out with Suge, I was like, all right, this little nigga different. And he's funny as hell, but he different, but he nice. So Baby's always gonna be one of my favorites. Best feature first. Hove did. Y'all talk about that, like, you know what? Let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let's break out of this BET Awards stuff because I was really trying to find stuff to talk about via the BET Awards. Her Loss won. I Just Want to Rock, best song, best new hip hop artist, Ice Spice. Yeah. Dave Free, Kendrick, best video director, best live performer is Kendrick because his Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour. Best Hustler is 50, of course, TV shows, cultural influence, Timbo and Swiss Beats versus collaboration. Huh? And Kendrick going for best artist. They ain't done nothing all year. 21 and Drizzy got the best duo. Jeezy, duo or group? What the hell? Whatever. Anyway, let's get into this. Since we talk about I just saw that Jay-Z won for best featured verse. Long ass verse too, 5 minutes. But You know what really, since we talking about New Yorkers, I'm gonna shout out Jazz the rapper with this phrase. You know what scuffs my Timbs is when people say that Jay-Z ain't the best. He's only good because of who he's associated with, mainly because Beyonce's his wife. He ain't never had a number one, this, that, and the third. Man, this is what, like, you know, and now I will be statistically, I'll be statistic with y'all on this. There, like, you know, has there been a year where he's been unequivocally number one? No. But has there been a year where he's always been a discussion of one of the top five, or having one of the best consistent hits? You know what I'm saying? How is he not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? How is he, like, you know, how is he in the Songwriters Hall of Fame? How is he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You know, Jay-Z wasn't with Beyonce when he sold 5 million records for Hard Knock Life. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is he not the best when he's proven time after time? Jay-Z's run back in 1997, like from 96 on up to 2003, what's that, 8 years? That'll be equivalent to damn near what Drake has done. You know what I'm saying? That's damn near equivalent to what Drake is doing right now. Since 2000, like I talked about this, from 2009 up to now, he's talking about he's retiring after he finished with, after he's done doing all the shit he do for all my dogs. But he's saying that he's done or he's retired or whatever. We'll see. We'll see. But Hove had a run, man. Hove had one of the coldest runs, an 8-year run. No, his album, like his songs may have not always charted, like, or his album may not have been like, you know, may have not been number one, but every time he dropped the album, what, even the damn 9/11 incident, it could not stop the fact that the Blueprint was a classic. Now, what album came out over that kind of gave it a little bit more juice? Word of Mouth, because I was a Ludacris fan, but I wasn't going, not like, man, maybe I'm being scrambled about this, but like, this is the thing about me. Even back then, like, was I the biggest Jay-Z fan back in the day? No, no. I was a Jay-Z fan, but not the biggest. I wasn't copping his album every time it came out. I'll tell you when I became a bigger fan of Jay-Z, when he started showing this, when he came out with that verse with Dre Electronica on the We Made It freestyle, talking about rappers talking about shit like you know, what? Y'all hella jealous of my melatonin, I could black out in a given moment. I'm God, Jesus ever let her made, so if my arms be shackled, I still get paid. All praise is due, I'm ready to chase the Yaku back in the cave. I'm like, wait a minute, like, yo, when did you started talking like this, Jay? And then we see him with the, you know, the 7-star circle on his as a pendant on his chain and whatnot. I'm like, hold up, when did you start studying Muslim? Or when did you become a part of the Islam? When did you become a nation of Islam? You know, it's like when did this start happening? And then he came out with 444. It was like, oh shit. So you can put out some thoughtful music. But the fact of the matter was, the hottest artist in the world, when you can't rap about shit that's thought provoking because it's like on ignorant shit. He said it on the intro. Y'all hailed me as the greatest writer of the 21st century, but then I make some thought provoking shit. Y'all question whether I'm falling off. So that's what the thing is, man. Jay-Z, he had to go with the flow. Moment of clarity. If skills, soul, truth be told, I'd probably be lyrically Talib Kweli. He said, I want to rap like how I used to do back with Big Daddy Kane and them. I want to rap about some thought-provoking shit, the shit that's really should have, like, you know, the effect that affects me, the shit that affects the world. But if I do that, my sales gonna drop. If I don't talk about the Maybach and my S. Doc Carters that ain't in sale no more. If I don't talk about this Armadale vodka, if I don't talk about this bottle of Ace of Spades, and people can make that as an excuse, but I said this about Drake and Joe Budden. appeal, man. It's about appeal. And some people know it, some people don't. Some people know that this is what it takes to be successful. Some people be like, fuck that, I'm rebelling to it. I used to be one of those type of guys. When I was rapping, sounded like I'm famous or something. But whenever I was rapping, like especially when I fucked around and found my third eye, when I was doing that, I was like, oh, I'm rapping about, I'm rapping, invoking, thought-provoking shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't rapping about, just me being the best. I'm rapping about shit that needs to be heard. And I'll tell you the truth. I'm glad that I did it, but I do believe that if I'd have bent towards what the popularity contest is, I don't know. Can't talk about that. But this the thing though, man. Some people know that this is what makes the audience happy if I tell them this. This is what's going to draw the audience away from me if I talk about this. Jay-Z has gotten to that level where it's like, okay, y'all have already heard about, you already know what I'm about. Flying birds down south, moving wet off the set, purple rain in the drought. Y'all have heard all of this shit. He still kept doing it after the Black Album, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it took for him to really think about it. Like, y'all heard this shit before. Like, I'm about to be 50. Let me talk about some shit that's really going on. What's going on with me. And this the thing though, I didn't know that him and Beyonce was recording 444 and Lemonade and Everything Is Love kind of all at the same time. Everything was like intertwining ordeal. But that's fire though. That's fire. But man, Beyonce Association ain't got nothing to do with it. Yeah, Beyonce is definitely the biggest star, at least African American star, in the music industry because people gonna argue Taylor Swift. But the fact that he's married to her don't mean jack. Not to me, it doesn't. 96. You know what I'm saying? People been biting his style and not like talking about rapping style. People been biting what he's been talking about since he came out, man. Nobody was talking about Audemars Piguets until he did in 2002. Niggas came in later after that, like years later. You started hearing other rappers rap about APs. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z definitely is a trendsetter. And motherfuckers gotta recognize that, man. Like, but the legacy is gonna tell itself later on down the line, man. It's gonna tell itself. So I think that's about it for me. I could go on about other things right now. I don't know what else to talk about. Um, but I will say this. The next episode either will be next week or Friday. Depends on, if I could get another guest. Because today I was planning on getting a guest. Like I said, I was getting a special. Like, because I want to keep talking about these certain things. I want us to engage this consistency going, keep this ugly phase going. You know what I'm saying? So we can grow. We can't grow if we stop. So thank you for tuning in. Next time I come here, more than likely we will have a special guest. If not, then we just go keep talking about this shit and keep talking about this shit with a little bit of intelligence, man. Put this common sense into people's brains, bro, because common sense is not that common. If it was, people wouldn't be talking the stupid shit that they be saying on all these social media shits. They wouldn't be talking behind a fucking screen. You feel me? I'm not talking shit to rile up things or, to bring about conflict. I'm just trying to talk about resolutions and interesting things. You feel me? Uh, I will tell you this. Like the couple of guests to health and psychedelic healing. We'll be talking about that. And then another guest, is a close friend of mine from been a while since I talked to him, but we've had conversations, and he's like, you know, he used to be a part of the group that I made. I ain't gonna say I made the group. It was a division of the group, feel me? But he was a part of that group, and he's still like a consistent worker when it comes to this hip hop shit. So we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna bring him up soon. But until then, you have now watched the second so-called episode of the Intelligent N-Word. Thank you for tuning in with a brother, and I will see you next time. Until then, I'm out this bitch like newborn puppies.